Okay, so this was a pretty bad day of FPV. I'm going to start with a Drak. Failed launch here. I was using the MyFlyDream auto launch mode, but for some reason, I think it might be the torque roll, it always wants to roll over to the left. Even with this overarm throw, it just couldn't get it going. Ouch. So this is how I felt inside.
Oh, no! No! No!
As you can see, I've cracked the nose there. It hasn't come all the way off, but it's pretty clean break, so that won't be too hard to glue back together. I was more annoyed about the fact that I couldn't fly it for the rest of the day. So instead I decided to get out the trusty Falcon. So the launch is fine, as per usual. You'll notice there's a bit of interference in the picture from my friend who was flying an Inspire nearby. But I decided I was going to go up the top of this mountain hill kind of thing. And I was going to turn around and just go straight down the side of it. So it's only a couple of minutes into the flight, and this is what I saw. Yeah, it all kind of happened really fast, so here it is again in slow motion. You notice there's a lot of movement up and down and vibration, and for a moment you'll see I'll go inverted as well before I lose the picture. At this point I had no idea what the cause was. Right, so I've lost the Falcon up the top here somewhere. Just focusing my finger. I think it's around where that dark patch meets the light patch just here. I think I'm going to have to drive over to here, try and walk all the way along this here. I have no idea what it's like up there, so I don't think it's going to be fun. So the first thing I did was I watched my DVR footage back, paused it the moment before I lost my video feed, and noted down the GPS coordinates, popped them into Google Maps, and I had my location for where, roughly, I think the wing might have gone down. So off I went driving down these really small roads, trying to get to that spot where I said I was going to park earlier. The roads did get a lot worse than this, but I didn't record all of that. So I've just driven up some really small roads that I think only farmers use to park over there. And this is where I am. That's the field we fly in, so I'm going up there somewhere. Before I went any further, I used a GPS app to check my altitude above sea level, and I started at 226 metres. As I mentioned in a clip earlier on, I wasn't too sure what the terrain was going to be like, but in my head, this is how I pictured it. Well, without me looking like a big fat red Teletubby. Yeah, it turns out this wasn't the case. This is not what I was expecting. It's like a bloody jungle up here. Sheep running around as well. Just had a chat with this farmer here, and he thinks that this might be the track that will take me to where I need to go. We'll find out. So that's the field. So nearly getting in line with that now. I think Google Maps thinks I'm around 400 or 500 metres from where I last had contact with the Falcon. This is probably hard to tell in the video, but this is actually quite steep. At this point I wanted to mention it was actually 30 degrees on this day, which is pretty hot for Ireland. This is 86 Fahrenheit for you guys in America. Pretty much run out of path now, just kind of making my way across this terrain as best route possible really. There isn't a good way, it's just not as bad ways. At this point I've been walking for around 45 minutes and I've run out of path. So I decided to use one of my apps that is designed to track runs and bike rides, and I used it to track my steps on a map. And the reasoning behind this is I thought I could use it to retrace my steps on the way back so that I could find that trail that I'd used to get this far. Got to the patch that was dark on the maps, just up here. Oh. It's not fun to walk through. I think I'm very close. Actually looks easier to walk on up there. So this is the stuff. It's burnt land. That's why it looks so dark on the map. On the video feed. Can't be far off now. There's either a mirage or a rock. That looks very similar to my wing. And if it is, it's in two pieces. It's probably just going to be a rock. I think that's it. God, I actually found it. It's in two pieces, kind of expected. That's one wing. My guess is maybe, I don't know if that came off or if the wing came off. My guess is the wing came off. And I think I'm missing a motor. Yeah, a lipo and a motor. So I was pretty pleased that I found the wing. At this point I was still missing the motor, the lipo and the Firefly HD camera. It was actually only about 10 meters away from the GPS coordinates that I took from the DVR, so pretty easy to find. Pretty standard day, you gotta take a selfie. Still looking around for parts. The part here, there's the lid. Don't care about that, I'd rather find the camera really, and the motor, and the lipo. Don't really have that much hope for any of those though. So the plane's just up there somewhere, and I think I've spotted the lipo. So it got thrown a serious distance from the plane, but it was still in perfect condition, so that was good news. So next I found the motor. That was really far away. That was probably double the distance away from the crash site as the lipo was. Right. That's everything found apart from the camera. Firefly's black. I think I've lost that. The motor was all the way down there in that dark patch. God knows where the camera is. So I think I spent a total of around 30 to 40 minutes searching for all the parts. At that point I decided to give up and I went home without the Firefly HD camera, unfortunately. At this point I checked my GPS app again and it turned out I'd climbed almost 300 meters to find the wing from where I started, and it was now at 518 meters above sea level. On the way back it's a bit harder. I don't know exactly where the path is that I used to get all the way up here, and I need to find it, but I'm using my app that tracks my walk to try and retrace my steps. See how we go on. I got a little bit lost back there, couldn't find this trail, but managed to find it again now after a bit of playing with Google Maps on satellite view. Shouldn't be too hard from here on now. 2.5 hours later, back to the car, absolutely shattered. So how's it looking now, and what caused the crash? Well, to be honest with you, it's not looking good. The main reason I'm going to be throwing this in the bin is because the spar that goes through both of the wings and through the fuselage has snapped off where the wing has come off the body. So this is not going to be repaired. So initially when the crash first happened, before I went and retrieved it, my thoughts were that maybe the wing had come off mid-flight, because I had noticed it was a little bit loose and I should really have glued it back on again properly, but I didn't. But then when I found it, I could see that the linkage had snapped off the control horn, so I wasn't too sure whether it was that caused the accident or if it was the wing coming off. And to be honest with you, I'm probably swaying more towards the fact that the linkage probably came off mid-air and then the wing actually snapped off on impact. The reason I think that is because the wing was very close to the rest of the body when I found it, and I felt like if it had come off during the flight in mid-air, that it probably would have been a lot further away. Anyway, please comment and let me know what you think might have caused it. I might be wrong. So in the 2 years that I have been flying FPV, this has been my worst day. It's been the first time I've ever lost an aircraft due to a failure and not because I've crashed it. And it's also been the first time I've ever caused damage to an aircraft by trying to launch it. So it doesn't always go to plan. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe and comment, and also check out my Facebook page. I do try and reply to all my comments when I get the chance. Cheers.